Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the forecast, the pre-game show here on Manchester Storm TV. I'm your match night host, Aden Millen, and I'm joined once again by your Storm TV commentator, Artis. Tonight, the Manchester Storm welcome the Nottingham Panthers, who are playing their first competitive game of the season. So far, pre-season's gone pretty well for the Storm, I think it's fair to say, with many wins against the domestic rivals at least, with their first loss coming very late in Guildford last week. But now they're at home. They take on a Panthers side who have had, to Max, I think it's fair to say, a very patchy pre-season.
I think it's fair to say that indeed. I think only one win in their pre-season campaign, coming against the Lozuta Fox. And I think Panthers fans will want to see more coming into their competitive games going forward now.
Talking about the Storm a bit more, obviously we didn't quite know what to expect coming into pre-season. Obviously new coach, quite a few new players, but big wins against Sheffield, Nottingham, Guildford at home. The other games that we played, we only had one loss. Of course, we lost that one last week in Guildford, but it was our first away game.
Yep.
And obviously playing away from this rink is obviously a lot trickier once you've gotten used to playing here. But how are you feeling about tonight's game? How do you think it's going to go?
I think it could go, well, I know it's going to go much more the similar way as it did back in pre-season against the Panthers. Probably not the same sort of scoreline. We'll probably get to that later on with our predictions. But this team is physical. This team plays hard. They've got a lot of heart, and they're only taking steps forward since last season, which was a blockbuster season. The eyes of the league are going to be on the Storm this year. And from what we've seen in pre-season and the first couple of games, I think the eyes are going to have plenty to look at.
Absolutely. I mean, going into those eyes, and one player who has caught the eye for me, Ryan Hughes. Obviously, he came in from Guildford, where, again, when any new player comes to this team, you're not quite sure what to expect, but he's come flying out of the box, hasn't he?
He has indeed, and absolutely fantastic performances. Up and down the lineup, it's hard just to single out one player. If I was going to do it for myself, it would have to be a debutant tonight. Alexei Daou, he's going to be wearing number 17. First time the Storm fans will get to see him play in action. Fantastic resume so far. AHL, ECHL, has done it at very high and competitive levels. And I think he's going to add to this lineup with physicality and goal scoring.
And now talking about our visitors, the Nottingham Panthers, their one to watch for me is there can only be one, Sam Hare. I was such a fan of his the last time he was in our league a few years ago. I mean, the amount of games I saw where the Panthers might be struggling and he would just put that team on his back, do something amazing, score a goal, win him a game, and it's no surprise that now he's back and they put the C straight on his jersey. Yeah,
he kind of slips back into his familiar role as captaincy and kind of leader of that team, leader wherever he's been, if I'm being honest. And yeah, like you said, the last time he was here with the Panthers, he did put that team on his back. I think in one game he scored all 4 goals to get them the victory against their now coach, who was in Coventry. It makes it very interesting. But for me, looking through pre-season and what I've seen of the Panthers, Cooper Zek stands out for me. Number 7 on the back end, gets involved, going up front. Great on the back end as well. Kind of what you want from an all-round defender.
Now going into pre-match predictions. So obviously we go off the evidence of the last time the Panthers were in the building. It was a 4-1 win for the Storm, but I felt it was a much closer game. Than the scoreline looked. It felt like a net-minding battle, and Evan just seemed to get the better hand that night. He was absolutely outstanding, as he often is.
Indeed.
Going into tonight, I think we're probably going to see something a bit tighter, but I could well be wrong if the first 15 minutes against Guildford last Saturday were anything to go by. I mean, I've been delighted with that, but I'm thinking maybe a 3-2 win for the Storm. What about you?
I'm going to push it one more and go 4-2, potentially an empty netter, but hopefully in regulation. It all gets done and dusted.
As long as win for the Storm, that is all that matters.
Indeed.
But that is enough from the forecast from us this evening. We hope you have a great night with us.